All right, let's talk about one of the most essential tools in any developer's toolkit, Git. And look, whether you're a seasoned coder, a designer, or just getting started, understanding Git is an absolute game changer. So today, we're going to get you from zero to making your very first commit.
Have you ever had that heart-stopping moment? You're working on a project with a team, you make a change, they make a change, and poof. Somebody's work just got overwritten, it's gone. It is a total nightmare, and it's the exact kind of chaos we're here to solve today.
And here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why this is even a problem. Then, we'll get you set up, walk you through the core 3-step workflow you'll use every day, show you how to look back in time, give you a little peek at a powerful feature called branches, and by the end, you're going to feel totally in control.
So let's dive right in with that problem. Code chaos. I mean, think about it. When you have more than one person working on the same files, it is so easy to accidentally step on each other's toes. And that's where version control system like Git isn't just nice to have, it's absolutely essential.
The best way to think of Git is as a safety net and a time machine all rolled into one. It keeps a record of every single change. So if you mess something up, no big deal. You can just rewind to any previous version. It lets your whole team work together without that constant fear of, did I just break everything? Okay, enough theory, right? Let's get practical. How do you actually start using this thing on a project? Well, there are basically two main ways to start, and it all depends on whether your project is brand new or if it already exists somewhere else.
So, if you're starting a project completely from scratch, right on your own computer, you'll use git init. That one command just tells Git, hey, start paying attention to this folder. But if you're joining a project that's already online somewhere, like on GitHub, you'll use git clone with the project's web address to download a complete intelligent copy.
Now, this next part is maybe the most important bit of the whole explainer. Once Git is set up, you're going to fall into this simple, repeatable rhythm for saving your work. I like to call it the 3-step workflow, and it's the core loop of pretty much everything you do.
And that loop is check, stage, and commit. This is the heartbeat of your project. First, you check to see what you've changed. Then you choose or stage the specific changes you want to save together. And finally, you commit that group as a permanent snapshot in your project's history. Let's break down each one.
Now, this idea of a staging area can feel a bit weird at first. The best analogy is a shopping basket. As you're working, you might change 10 different files. The staging area lets you pick just the 3 related changes you want and put them in the basket for your next save. This is what lets you create small, logical saves instead of one giant, messy one. Step 1 is your home base. Git status. Seriously, get used to typing this command. It's basically you asking Git, hey, what's going on? What's different since the last time I saved? It'll tell you which files are modified, which ones are new, and what's ready to be saved.
Okay, so you know what's changed. Now it's time to fill that shopping basket. For that, we use the git add command. This is what moves your changes into the staging area. You can add files one by one, or, and you'll do this a lot, you can just type git add dot, that's add followed by a period, to stage all the changes at once.
And finally, the commit. This is the big moment. You're taking a permanent snapshot of everything that's in your staging area. The command is git commit. Now that little -m flag is super important. It lets you add a message to explain what you did. And trust me, writing clear commit messages is a gift to your future self.
So you've been making all these commits, saving all these snapshots of your work. That's fantastic. But how do you actually look back and see that history? Let's take a look at how Git builds your project's timeline. It's incredibly simple. The command you're looking for is git log. You type that in, and Git will show you a list of every single commit you've ever made, starting with the most recent one. You'll see who made the change, when they made it, and the message they left behind.
And this is what that history looks like in the real world. See? It's not just some messy folder of files. It's a clean, readable story of how your project has evolved, from the initial setup, to adding a new feature, to fixing a tiny typo.
All right, let's touch on one of Git's real superpowers, branches. Now, don't worry, we're not going to go too deep here, but it's really important that you know what these are and why they're so cool.
So here's the key idea. A branch is like creating a parallel universe for your project. It lets you make an isolated copy of your code where you can experiment, build a new feature, or fix a bug, all without any risk of messing up the main, stable version of your project.
It's total freedom. And these are the basic commands for managing those parallel universes. You can list all your branches, create a new one and switch over to it, and then, most importantly, you can use git merge to bring all the successful work from your experimental branch back into the main project.
And just like that, you've got the fundamentals. I know it might seem like a lot at first, but honestly, it all comes back to just a few core commands that give you complete and total control over your project.
So here it is. This is your cheat sheet. If you can remember how to start a project, check its status, add your files, commit your changes, and look at the history, you have everything you need to manage basically any project like a pro.
Ultimately, these basic commands are the entire foundation. Once you really get them down, you'll never have to worry about losing your work or causing chaos in a team project again. You will always be in control.
And that really just leaves us with one last question. You have the toolkit, you understand the workflow, and you're ready to go. So what amazing thing are you going to build first?